Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Battle for Victory here at Scarborough Athletic. And since the last episode where we lost 1-0 against Chester in the last game of the last episode, we beat Curzon Ashton in the FA Trophy second round 2-1. We lost 4-0 to Southport. We beat Peterborough Sports 2-1. Drew 2-all with Brackley. Beat Bradford PA 1-0. Lost 1-0 against Leamington in the FA Trophy third round. Beat Darlington 2-0. Then lost the following week against Darlington 3-1. 1-1 draw with Hereford. 3-1 victory over Blythe, 2-1 victory over Fylde, and a 2-2 draw last time out against Boston. Today we'll take on Kidderminster, Farsley and Spennymoor in league action, possibly Alfreton as well, depending on how long the games go. The league table looks like this. We are joint top with Chester, 58 points from 30 games. They have 58 points as well. Kings Lynn have 57. We have a slightly better goal difference, won 17 games each, drew 7, lost 6. It's getting really tight between the three of us at the top of the table. As you can see there, Michael Coulson is the top goal scorer. If we just move it across and have a look, Michael Coulson 19 goals, Tyrese Onyeka has 15, Kieran Glynn has 8, Jake Charles has 5, Daniel Bramwell has 3, James Gale has 2, Will Thornton has 2, and then there's a few there on one: Brad Plant, Alex Petrovic, Dom Terre, Luke Colville, Bailey Gouda, Lewis Maloney, and Kieran Burton. No, Kieran Burton has 0, sorry. Lewis Maloney's the only other one on 1. And in terms of assists, Daniel Bramwell has 8, Luca Colville has 6, Dylan Hill and Kieran Glynn, Jake Kelly and Michael Coulson all have 5, and our best average rating player at the moment is Lewis Lang, 7.28, just ahead of Michael Coulson on 7.22. The 34-year-old has really hit some form this season, 19 goals in 26 appearances. And we are ready for the first game of this episode. We take on Kidderminster Harriers today, who are 11th in the league table, and we need to just keep winning games at the moment because it is really, really tight at the top of the table. Chester are right on our tails, as are Kings Lynn, and any kind of slip up could mean that we fall into those playoff places. And as much as a success as playoffs will be in this first season, you really don't want that. You don't want to be messing around with the playoffs too often during this save. So hopefully we can carry on the form, and let's get into the opening game of this episode. Chester take on Spennymoor, who are in 5th place, and Kings Lynn, if I can see them, take on Buxton, who are in 18th. So we'd expect Kings Lynn to win that game. That'll be a tough game though for Chester at Spennymoor. They are 6 points behind in that group of teams on 51 there: Banbury, Spennymoor and Darlington. And the team lineup for this game, we're going to quickly hit quick pick and see, we're going to hit selection advice, and see what the assistant says. We have Cracknell in goal. Lewis Lang is struggling with fitness, so we're going to bring in Harry Williams to play instead of him at the back. James Rowland is also struggling. He has 62% on his match sharpness, so we're going to bring in Kieran Glynn for him in the centre of midfield, and James Gale is going to be replaced by Coulson, and we're going to bring Jake Charles onto the bench as well as an extra striker. Maybe we need a winger on there as well. Let's take out him and bring in Brad Plant on the bench, I think. So it is going to be Cracknell in goal, Hill, Gouda, Williams and Kelly across the back. Bramwell, Glynn, Maloney and Colville are the midfield four, and it is Coulson playing with Onyeka up front. And let's get into it, and hopefully we can start as we mean to go on, get victory away at Kidderminster and just move onwards. Kids are very, very similar today as that long ball over the top. Cracknell collects it comfortably. We playing in the all white. They're in their red and white, and it's over the top, and Coulson's in behind them. Michael Coulson gets his 20th of the season. Long ball football, first shot of the game, first goal, 5.5 minutes on the clock, and Michael Coulson makes it Scarborough Athletic 1, Kidderminster 0. Cracknell with the goal kick, sent it long. It was a mistake by the defender Pierce, just let it go over his head. Coulson was in behind, took a touch and beats the goalkeeper from around the penalty spot. 1-0. What a start to this episode. What a start to this game. Corner kick, Rogers will take it in, swing it towards the far post, and it's, I thought that found its way in there. Great header at the far post by, it was Sean Canham. And I went into the side netting. Half time, we haven't been the better team, but one chance, one goal for Michael Coulson, and that is all we need really from today. Hopefully we can defend well in the second half and come away with another victory. Gouda looks that ball along towards Onyeka. Martin heads it away. Maloney wins it and flicks it in towards Glynn and goes all the way back to Gouda now. Ball into Coulson, turns, runs at the defence. Tackle comes in, but Bramwell wins it. Bramwell now coming in from that left hand side, running a long way. Bramwell hits a shot and it grazes the roof of the net on the way through. Still 1-0. into the final 5 minutes here of this game at Agborough, and it is still 1-0. Not a lot has happened in this game, really. That ball is fired long, and Knight Percival will run back, collect it by his own corner flag, and fires it long. And it's flicked on towards Bolton now. Brings it down. Looks like ball over the top. Williams wins the header. Morgan Smith heads it down, but Kelly wins that ball. Into Plant now. Plant with his back to the opposition goal. Gives it back to Kelly. And infield to Maloney it goes. Tackle goes in by Morgan Smith. But Maloney somehow manages to hang on to the ball there. A little bit of a mix-up between his own players. And Bramwell looks like ball over the top for Coulson. Hits the shot. And Michael Coulson with his 21st of the season seals the game. Scored one at the start. Scores one at the end. And it's Kidderminster Harriers 0. Scarborough Athletic 2 here at Agborough. And it was a really well-worked goal here. Bramwell just chips that ball over the top. Coulson gets there first. First time volley across the goalkeeper. 2-0. 3 points heading back up to Scarborough with us. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered, as Chester are drawing 1-1 with Spennymoor. And it looks as if that is the way it's finished. That was a good win for us. I mean, it wasn't a great performance, but all that matters at this point in the season is getting those victories in. And it is the fact that Kings Lynn have drew 1-1 with Buxton and Chester have drew 1-1 with Spennymoor, which means we are now 2 points clear of Chester, 3 points clear of Kings Lynn with a game in hand over them. And it is looking very, very nice for us here after the opening game of this episode. We host Farsley Celtic today, who are 23rd in the league table, with Cracknell in goal, Hill, Gooder, Lang and Kelly across the back. Wingers are Bramwell and Colville. Midfield duo Rowland and Maloney and Gale. Partners Charles up front. It means that Onyeka and Coulson both dropped to the bench. Coulson after his 2 goals last time out, as we just rotate in what should be the easier game. Give Coulson and Onyeka the week off, well, the majority of the week off, before we take on 5th place Spennymoor in the next game. And let's get into it, and hopefully we don't rue these changes too much. Atkinson take this corner on the far side, right-footed, in swinger. He's taking his time to take it as well. Puts that ball in, and Cracknell punches it away. Mulhern will pick it up, takes it away from his man. Mulhern with the shot, and Cracknell somehow between him and the post keep it out. I think there, Atkinson will now get the cross in. Spencer gets up and Cracknell hangs onto that ball. I thought he might have took that out for a corner kick there. Still 0-0. Farsley Celtic being by far the better team here in this opening half. And with a couple of minutes to go to half time, it's still 0-0. Just that one chance for Farsley. Maloney with his free kick from deep looks towards Gooder at the far post. He's headed away. Who's going to pick it up first? It's going to be Glynn to get there first. Glynn running forward, shot from distance, and the keeper doesn't move. Doesn't look like he was that close. Didn't have him bothered really at all there. And it's our first real chance of the game as well. Spennymoor a 2-2 with Kidderminster. Ball goes into Onyeka now. Onyeka threw off the bench, and Tyrese Onyeka gets his 16th goal of the season. Scarborough Athletic 1, Farsley Celtic 0, and it's our first real chance, probably our second real chance of the game. Our first shot on target. Goal kick went long. Rowland picked it up comfortably in the middle of the park. He laid it through for Onyeka, touched it away from the defender. Ran 1-1 with the goalkeeper, who just seemed at all 6s and 7s. And it is 1-0 now, and what a start. And Chester are winning by the look of this. Still 2 points clear at the top of the table. That ball goes into Onyeka. Flicked away, and Turner can nod away, but Bramwell's going to win that first. Bramwell cuts inside into his right foot. Bramwell fires it over the bar. Table and updated, by the way. We have 64 points now, and Chester aren't winning, so we'll be 4 points clear at the top of the table as Glynn volleys that back to the centre back Lang, and that is clipped back into the path of Glynn. Glynn now will turn and run at the Farsley Celtic defence into Jake Kelly. Jake Kelly now in towards Glynn. Ball over top for Coulson, who will get there first, and it's off the post, and Onyeka couldn't get there to put it into what would have been an empty net. It remains 1-0 here, 64 minutes on the clock. There's a corner on the far side. Maloney will take it into winger with his right foot, puts it in. Bramwell attacks it, and it's headed away from him there. Coulson nips in to win that ball back now. It's 3-on-4 almost. Ball through for Onyeka, who's onside. Onyeka with a chance to seal the game, and Durnley makes a save there with his body, gets himself in the way. I feel like he should have done better there. The angle was getting tighter and tighter with every touch he took as that ball comes in and headed away. Yeah, the angle was getting tighter and tighter with every touch he took, and it just probably cost him the goal there as Moss nips in and wins that ball off Maloney. Through for Spencer. Spencer turns away from his man, and Lang does fantastically well there just to nip in, take the ball off him, crosses halfway with it now and gives it into Glynn. Kieran Glynn coming inside from that right hand side, puts it in towards Onyeka. It's 2-0. The 3 points are coming back. Last time it was, it's been disallowed. The linesman is out of sight on this near side just due to how big the pitch is. Ball in from Glynn. Yeah, he's a good yard or two offside. Great finish. But it remains 1-0, and there's just over 10 minutes left on the clock. We are 4 points clear of Chester as things stand. We are 6 clear of Kings Lynn as things stand as well. Chester are currently Where are Chester? Have Chester already played? I can't see them. Anyway, we're into stoppage time. We're into the final minute. And let's not concede a silly goal now, please. There's a flick on from Spencer. Glynn dropping back to pick that up. Fires it in towards Coulson. Great control there. Gets away from his man. Now crosses over halfway. Looks for Rowland. Tackle goes in. And Sawyers will look forward for Lomax. It hits him though, and Jake Kelly can nip in, give it to Glynn. Coulson for Onyeka now. Onyeka can run at the defence. Onyeka into the box, and he's shot. And Delney gets down to his left hand side, comfortably hangs on to it. But that should waste enough time now to see out the rest of this game as Curry looks into Moss. Ball through for Spencer, who's in behind. There's a chance for Spencer to get the point. And what a save from Cracknell, keeping Farsley Celtic at bay. They haven't really done anything in the second half, but what a save when called upon from Joe Cracknell as he comes to collect that corner, and that should be that, and it is. It is a 1-0 victory here at home. It wasn't a good performance, but we have got the 3 points. We have 6 from 6 in today's episode, and everything is going right for us today. What a start, and what an episode so far. Scarborough Athletic 1, Farsley Celtic 0. So Chester must have already played and not picked up points, so we are 4 points clear, 6 better off in the goal difference department as well, 6 points clear of Kings Lynn. And what a time to start pulling a gap. There is 46 games in this league season, 14 left to play, and we have a 6-point advantage over third and a 4-point advantage over second. And what a time to get it as well. We take on Spennymoor in the next game. 53 points Spennymoor have. They are currently in 5th. It'll be our toughest game of this episode, but the way we are playing, we're picking up results without particularly playing great, which is the sign of a good team. And I mean, if we were to get 9 from 9 in this episode, we would be in a great position to get automatic promotion to the Vanarama National next season. So it seems that Chester played Tuesday against Peterborough Sports. They've drew their last 2. They've actually not won in the last 3. Defeat against Kings Lynn, draw against Spennymoor, and a draw against Peterborough Sports. They take on Boston next up, who are 14th, Gloucester, who are 13th, and Bradford Park Avenue, who are 19th. And let's have a look at Kings Lynn next couple of games as well. They take on Gloucester, who are 13th, Banbury, who are 4th, and Fylde, who are 11th. They've only won 1 of their last 3 as well. That was a game against Chester, defeat against Leamington, and a draw against Buxton. So we are getting the victories, and those other 2 teams are slipping up. Like I say, next week, they take on Gloucester, we take on Spennymoor, and Chester take on, who was it now? Boston United. So you'd expect those 2 teams to win. It's on us to keep our run of form going and make it 9 from 9. Just looking at the XG table as well, we are behind on our goals scored, behind on goals against, but we are ahead on points. We are providing a very good XG. We just aren't finding the net as often as we should do. And in terms of against, they are scoring a little bit more than what they should do against us as well. But we are top of the XG table. And if you look at second place, Chester are down in 5th, and third place, Kings Lynn, are down in 8th in terms of the XG table. So we are doing okay. We are the one team that is really sort of doing what we should be doing. We're where we should be, and that is fantastic for us as we get into the tactical meeting. We're at that point in the season where not a lot is happening. So it's just a lot of games. We've got the youth intake coming sometime end of March, start of April, so we'll bring you that when it comes in. But at the moment, there's no signings coming in, there's no signs going out. Few unhappy players here and there, but for the most part, it's just game time and getting into this. And we're away at Spennymoor in this game, and it's Cracknell in goal, Hill, Lang, Williams and Kelly. Midfield 4 of Bramwell, Rowland, Maloney and Colville, and Gale. Partners on Onyeka up front as we look to make it 9 from 9. And let's go do this. Lewis to take this corner ball in. Taylor gets up, hits the woodwork, and Lang can clear it away. Lewis has a second attempt to put this ball in. Comes in field, and Colville nips in, wins the ball back, and smashes it over halfway. Spennymoor being the dominant team here in this opening half an hour. Not really created too much apart from that cross, as Ledger will take this throw into Chandler now. Hill nips in, wins the ball off him now. Got to find the right pass. Short into Rowland. He looks long towards Onyeka, and Leg can bring it down. Infield to Cummins, and he looks long once again. Taylor nods it into Payne. Payne ball over the top for Tabernier, and Joel Tabernier makes it 1-0. Spennymoor lead, 35 minutes on the clock. They hadn't done an awful lot before that attack there, but the ball was just misjudged. Long ball over the top by Cummins, and Taylor flicked it down. Payne over the top to Tabernier, and no one really went with him, and he finishes it brilliantly across the goalkeeper. 1-0. Kelly with the throw into Colville now. Looks infield towards Onyeka, takes a touch back to goal, gives it to Bramwell. Space opens up for the shot, and he's missed the target. Gale wins that header there, and Onyeka picks it back up, gives it back into Gale now. Lang. looking to go over halfway, switches out to the right hand side of Colville. Great first touch from him. Can he find a man in the box? Tackle goes in by Duxbury, and the penalty has been given. Looked rather harsh, but Maloney has a chance to make it 1-1 on the stroke of half time, and that is an awful penalty. That is such a bad penalty, and it is 1-0 at half time. We've been a little bit better since the goal went in, as Bramwell comes in full, shot is blocked. Kelly picks it back up, fires it over the bar. But we haven't created anything clear cut. Spennymoor, for all their shots and shots on target, only have a 0.66 XG as Rowland puts the ball in. Onyeka gets up, hits the woodwork, and it stays out once again. Our XG has been better. Obviously, we had the penalty, which will probably boost ours higher than theirs. But halfway through the second half, it is 1-1. We are not playing well at all. Kieran Glynn is going to come on. Michael Coulson is going to come on for James Gale. We're going to leave Tyrese Onyeka on, leave our top 2 goal scorers on the pitch. And we are also going to bring on... Who are we going to bring on? We are going to bring on Will Thornton for Harry Williams, who isn't having a good game either. And hopefully we can provide something in this last 20 minutes or so. But at the moment, I mean, I had a couple of decent chances, but nothing that really stands out for us. Last 10 minutes, can we manage to get something? We're going to move slightly more attacking, and I think we're also now going to just change the way we play slightly, and we're going to go more direct, really high tempo, hit the crosses early, shoot on sight, dribble less, I think, and we're just going to hopefully get that ball in towards the Spennymoor box. But nothing has happened there at the end of the game, and Lewis Maloney's missed penalty was such a poor effort. That would have got us a point, because Spennymoor didn't look that great in the second half, but it's defeat for us here. Spennymoor 1, Scarborough 0, and that is disappointing. It's a disappointing performance considering the last 2 games, picking up those victories, and we end the episode in defeat. So Chester, after going 1-0 down against Boston, won 2-1, and Kings Lynn won 3-1 as well. Banbury, who they beat Kidderminster by 1-0, they move on to 60 points as well. There are 4 teams within 4 points of each other with 13 games to play, and it is going to be tight. Banbury getting themselves in the mix now. Chester 63, Kings Lynn 61, we have 64. We have the better goal difference than Chester or Kings Lynn, but Banbury have plus 28. So if they close the gap anymore, they could be the biggest threat out the other 3 teams. So in the next episode, we are going to come back and we are going to finish off the league season. We're going to play through Alfreton through to Southport, and we're going to come back on the 1st of April for the final 28 days, the final 6 games of the season in a bumper episode. Don't worry, it'll be cut down. A lot of games will probably just be goals and the like. But Kettering, Curzon Ashton, Chorley, Buxton, Telford and Banbury on the final day of the season, which could be massive depending. Before then, we do take on Kings Lynn and Chester, who we've already played this season. Kings Lynn, we beat Chester. We were unfortunate with a penalty and a sending off to lose that game 1-0, but we have a chance. We also have bottom but 1 Peterborough Sport, mid-table Gloucester and mid-table Southport as well. But we'll be back. Kettering are 9th at the moment, Curzon Ashton are 22nd, Chorley are 20th, Buxton are 18th, Telford are bottom and Banbury are 4th. It is a rather favourable run-in, but we need to do the business off camera before we come back, get the season finished in the next episode. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. We're on the route to 100 subscribers. Let's do it, and let's celebrate 100 subscribers with promotion, and celebrate promotion with 100 subscribers. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.